Hello everyone. This will be a short lecture, supplemental lecture actually and this is to wrap up our discussion on domain Archaea. So even though yung studies about Archaea are not say popular as studies in related to bacteria, it's now gaining more attention, and there are even reports, 'di ba sinabi natin na they can be found in almost any kind of environment, but not necessarily yung talagang extreme no ng mga conditions. And they are now known to play crucial roles in our existence. So in this lecture right here will be some of the reported importance and applications of archaebacteria and in different fields. Okay? So say for example, yung nasa picture na yung kimchi, no? In kimchi, it's very acidic, no? It's very spicy, and there are archaebacteria that are known to participate in the fermentation process, no? And then keeping the product yung taste niya. Okay? So for this lesson, we should be able to highlight the ecological, economic, medical, and industrial importance of Archaea. Okay? So with the Korean culture invasion in the Philippines, isa sa mga patok kumbaga na dish from Korea is kimchi, no? It's a traditional Korean side dish that is sour, spicy. Its smell is really pungent. It's made from fermented cabbage, and it's a mixture also of yung ano pa yung mga other vegetables for that, no? And in this one, in coming up with the kimchi, no, it's a there are anaerobic bacteria alongside archaebacteria that helps in the fermentation process. Okay? So yun yung sa mga importance niya, no? So studies in Archaea are gaining more attention because of their many possible applications. Because they can thrive in these extreme conditions, it's also expected that uh, their proteins, no, the proteins that they code or the genes that code for these proteins, may mga marami siyang possible applications. So here are some of their applications, ano. So in terms of ecology, it has its own significance to the ecosystem depending on the metabolic function of species. So say for example, methanogens, important siya because they oxidize methane, which are commonly found in wetlands and in intestinal tracts. And without methanogens, methane levels would be lethal, no, to living organisms. So they are these methanogens are important key players in the global nitrogen cycle, no, which includes the nitrification of ocean waters, the release of dissolved organic matter, and the conversion and consumption of methane. Okay, so that's for the ecological sense, you know. In terms of sa health and medicine, yung unique mechanism and high tolerance of Archaean species under harsh conditions have gained the attention in medical research. So say for example, yung leucine dehydrogenases, these are purified from cold-loving Archaebacteria for biosensors, and they are compatible solutes and glycerol from halophiles, which are utilized in drug development. Okay, so for the case of biosensors from psychrophiles, these are made to detect the presence or concentration of a particular na analyte, no? Say for example, a biomolecule, it can be like yung shadow, di ba? Yung presence or absence of someone, ganun. Biological structure, microorganism, okay? And then we also have a newly discovered class of antibiotics called archaeocins, potentially from Haloarchaea and Sulfolobus. So these are both salt-loving organisms, no, and has been greatly studied for their unique mode of action compared to typical antibiotics, which can function in the eradication of xenobiotics. So xenobiotics, ito yung chemicals na foreign to animals, no, or to organisms, such as like yung mga drugs, pesticides na carry over, yung cosmetics, flavorings, fragrances, all of these no na chemical, industrial, and environmental pollutants that are not innate to animal life are example of xenobiotics na kaya ding puksain ng archaeocene. So that's something special with archaeocene. Okay? And aside from bacteria, there are also archaebacteria that inhabit the human GI tract, no? Which aids in metabolism of substances and processes like methanogenic archaea, no? Like methanogens na naman dito, no? Yung ating methanomacilicoccus luminiensis, which catalyzes the metabolism of trimethylamine, which is a product of metabolism of foods that are rich in choline and lecithin. Okay? So in patients, yung trimethylamine, no, if it's too much actually, if hindi siya na-metabolize into simpler forms, it would cause stomach ache, vomiting, diarrhea, and even graying of the skin, no? So thank you for this methanogen for keeping it in check. Okay? For biotechnology, alam natin na in polymerase chain reaction, yung ginagamit na enzyme should be thermostable because essentially polymerase chain reaction would deal with a series of changes in temperature. No, we have in denaturation, dapat high temperature siya para ma-unzip ang double-stranded DNA. And then you have annealing right here. Annealing is basically you have your primers, and the primers will look for the initiator's strand, no, kung saan siya magsisimulang mag-extend. And then extension is simply the addition of these nucleotide sequences. Okay? So in this one right here, itong bilog na to, yung polymerase na to. Okay? Yung this is from Thermus aquaticus first, no, but right now meron na mga alternative na DNA polymerases that aid in DNA cloning, no? And even restriction enzymes, or those enzymes that cut at specific portions of the DNA, are now isolated from bacteria, from archaebacteria. Hindi na lang siya from bacteria. And lastly, for food and industry, no, because they thrive in extreme places, some species are known to participate in the fermentation of products, gaya na sinabi natin kanina, no, yung sa ating kimchi. And this one is also this is a fermented fish, no, that's a staple in Japan. So many halophilic archaea are found in these fermented fish. Okay? And in addition, yung halophiles with pigments, no, are exploited as food additives, no, natural food additives. While unsaturated fatty acids are utilized in the production of these for food supplements naman. Okay? So that's it for the known importance of archaebacteria. If you have questions or clarifications, feel free to call my attention, and I hope this recording will help you in your exam preparations. Okay? So that would be all. Bye-bye.